In this question, we want to figure out the center of each of these dilations, and we also want to call out the scale factor. So let's go ahead and start with example 1. And before I even start with that, I want to touch on what dilations are. And this is going to be my best attempt. Maybe not the greatest, but here goes nothing. Imagine that you had a little light on the ground, all right? So you have a light and it's shining upwards this way, right? And we have a person here. So here's my guy or girl, whatever. And we have a big wall right here. Well, if you're going to shine a light at this person, there's going to be a big shadow that happens on this wall, and it's going to be like a bigger size person, right? Because the shadow of this person is going to be projected on that wall. Well, think of this as like my pre-image, okay? My pre-image. This is what we're starting with. This is the beginning shape. And then this person here, which would actually be like the shadow on the wall, that's going to be my image. So this light casts this shadow onto the wall, and we go from pre-image to an image. So that's exactly what like a dilation is, but we want to figure out, well, how much bigger is this image compared to this pre-image? Now, when it's asking for the center, that is looking for where's this light. So where is this pre-image being projected from? Kinda, sorta, in a way. Now, it's also important to say that besides enlarging something, a pre-image, you could also make it smaller, and that's called a reduction. But let's just go from here. All right. Imagine if we took corresponding body parts here and ran a line through them to go back to our light. So from the shadow's head to the person's head, we're going to go back through their light, right? Well, let's draw a line through their arms, right? From the arms to the arms, it's going to go back through the light, right? And then what about the feet? Well, the feet of the shadow through the feet of the actual persons is going to go back through the light. This is considered the center right here, okay? And that's what we want to find. So we want to run a line through corresponding parts here. So we want to run a line through A prime to A, and it's going to keep going downwards. We also want to run a line through C prime to C and so on. So that's that. All right, let's go into this problem now. I want to figure out the slope from A to A prime. So it looks like we went up 3 and then over 1. So to make sure that we draw an accurate line, assuming we don't have a straight edge, we want to figure out what this slope is and then use it. So we already know it's up 3 over 1. So then we want to go backwards. So we got to go down 1, 2, 3, and then back 1. So we're going to have our line going like this. Okay, and then from C to this C prime, we had to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up 5, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4. So that slope was 5 over 4. So then we want to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like we're going to run our line through there, okay? And then lastly, we want to go from B to B prime, so it looks like we had to go up 1, 2. So up 2, and then over 1, 2, 3. So up 2 over 3. It's going to be our line like that. And then we want to go backwards, so we want to go down 2 and then back 3. So it looks like our line's going to be run through there. Okay, we could even extend these lines too, but basically it looks like our center point then is the intersection of all these lines. And this point on the coordinate system looks like it's going to be 2 comma positive 1. So our center is going to be 2 comma 1. Now, long story short, all you have to do is really run lines through your corresponding points, and it'll connect to that center. It's almost like a focal point or something. Now, to get the scale factor, it looks like there's no easy way to figure out the length of each side, so I'm going to use my slope to figure out what the scale factor is. And I'm going to work from B to C here. So it looks like I'm going up 1, 2, 3, and then forward 1. So 3 and then over 1. And then from B prime to C prime, it looks like we went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then over twice. So that's going to be in ratio to 6 over 2. So how did we get from 3 to 6 and from 1 to 2? It looks like we took this and multiplied it by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, so our scale factor is going to be 2. In the second example, we're going to do the same thing, except let's call out the scale factor first because we don't have all of our lines all over the place. Now, if we figure out the side of DC, it looks like we have 6 units, and that corresponds with D prime and C prime, which is just going to be 2 units. Looks from A to D, we have 9 units, and then from A prime to D prime, we have 3 units. So let's see, from DC to D prime to C prime, it looks like we went from 6 to 2, and then from AD we had 9, and then we went to A prime D prime, which was 3. So what did we have to do to 6 and 9 to get to 2 to 3? What do we have to multiply by? And it looks like we divided by 3, so it's the same thing as multiplying by 1/3, right? 6 over 1 times 1/3 is going to be 6 over 3, which is just 2, which is what we had there. So yeah, our scale factor is going to be 1/3. Now we want to find the center. So we want to start connecting points here. So D prime and D, we want to draw a line between those two, and there's that line, and it looks like the slope is down 1 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to another point. So it's like down 1 over 4 and then down 1 over 4 again. So then let's continue this a little bit more. We go down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't know if we have to extend it that far, but let's just go ahead and do it. From A to A prime, it looks like we just go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, and if we keep doing that, going down 1 over 1, eventually it'll go to that point. So again, down 1 over 1, whoops, I don't want to do that. I just want to continuing it, and it crosses right there. So never again will these two lines cross, so it looks like the center is going to be right here. Let's run one more line through it just to be sure, and let's stick with the one that's closest. C, we'll do these two. So it looks like with C we go down 1, 2, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we go down 2 and then over 4, that slope reduces to be down 1 over 2, and that's where I'm going to use to continue my line. So I go down 1 over 2, there's a point, so I start my line, and then I go down 1 over 2 again, and then down 1 over 2, and yep, sure enough, it looks like my line goes through this point right here. So that's going to be the center, and our point on our coordinate system there is going to be, looks like 1 comma negative 2. So this is going to be my center. We don't even have to run B to B prime through it accurately. You know, if we want to just do it very rough sketch, you just run it through like that, and you know it's going to go through it. But there's my my center right